Seth Meyers. This is Late Night. We hope you're doing well. And now, if you don't mind, we're going to get to the news. President Trump announced today that Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem will step down and will be replaced by Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin. If you don't remember, she's the one who had more outfits than Barbie, and he is just Ken. That's right, President Trump. And it is weird when you're like, Kristi Noem's stepping down. Everybody's like, woo! And you're like, no, you're not going to be replaced with someone cool. Yeah, Oprah's gonna do it. That's right. President Trump announced that Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem will step down, and there's only one thing that can cheer her up right now. For that joke to really land, you got to remember she killed her dog. Democratic Representative Sidney Kamlager-Dove asked Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem if she has had sexual relations with her chief advisor, Corey Lewandowski, yesterday during a House Judiciary Committee that Noem's husband attended. Oh, now it's a meeting. I don't know if I want her to answer or wait for the reunion special. Everyone's going to be at the reunion special. Except her dog. The White House shared a video yesterday on social media that appeared to combine video game footage as well as real clips of military strikes set to music. I just think it was weird that the video game was Super Mario Brothers. According to a new poll, 59% of Americans oppose U.S. military action in Iran, making it one of President Trump's most popular policies. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said yesterday that President Trump ordered the military strikes against Iran because he had a, quote, good feeling that the Iranian regime was about to attack U.S. assets. And I think it's telling that he considers that a good feeling. The National Capital Planning Commission held a vote today on whether to move forward with President Trump's plan for a 90,000 square foot White House ballroom. A little late. We're either getting a ballroom in the East Wing or a lot of natural light. President Trump hosted the Inter Milan CF soccer team today at the White House to celebrate their 2025 Major League Soccer Championship. Apparently, he has a soft spot for soccer because he's also not allowed to use his hands. By the way, I don't blame her. Have you seen one of his hands right now? Got a weird-looking hand. President Trump is reportedly planning to endorse Republican Senator John Cornyn in the Texas GOP Senate primary, unless, of course, Zoran decides to run. Authorities in England are looking for a team of thieves who allegedly robbed a jewelry store during the day by cutting open a glass case with a circular saw before escaping on a moped. But don't worry, they have their best guy on the case. A California man was recently sentenced to 4 years in prison for allegedly stealing $1,000 worth of Pokemon cards, but if his cellmate asks, he killed a guy. Authorities in Georgia recently warned parents to check their child's lunch after a student mistakenly had a canned Cutwater lemon drop martini in their lunchbox. Because even at that age, you're too mature for a Cutwater lemon drop martini. Martini, shaken, not stirred. Cutwater if you have it. And finally, a dog in England recently gave birth to a litter of 17 puppies, which is believed to be the largest ever litter of Irish doodles. Yeah, you didn't need to tell us she was Irish. That was a monologue, everybody. Hey, we're gonna go show. See you tonight. He is the multi-talented producer, writer, and musician behind beloved shows like Family Guy and American Dad. The second season of his series, Ted, is streaming now on Peacock. Seth MacFarlane is back on the show, you guys. Also, please allow me to say a word about a charity that means just so much to me. Cycle for Survival was created by friends of mine 20 years ago. This is an incredible anniversary year for them, and the last 20 years they have raised over $400 million for rare cancer research, clinical trials, and Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. Every single dollar they raise goes directly to fund that work, that important work. I've been part of these events over the years. It's a ton of fun. They've been doing it all over the country, and a very special event this weekend. So please, if you can, go to cycleforsurvival.org to get more information and to donate. Congratulations to everybody who participates, and thank you so much for listening. You guys, moving on. The Trump administration keeps changing their story on why we're at war with Iran, and it's not helping that his cabinet is in turmoil with his Homeland Security Secretary out and his Attorney General subpoenaed. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. If you are a hardcore MAGA voter who supported Donald Trump, first of all, thank you for watching our show. I'm sorry it's the only thing currently on in the ER waiting room. And I'm also sorry that your tattoo got so infected. Second, if you voted for Trump, I can think of 4 main issues you probably cared about: bringing down prices, ending foreign wars, deporting violent criminals, and releasing the Epstein files. And Trump has struck out on all 4 so far. For example, less than 14% of the people detained by ICE have violent convictions, and support for abolishing ICE is at record highs. In fact, Trump's deportation plan has gone so badly and been so unpopular that today he fired the person in charge.
Breaking news into CNN. Kristi Noem is out as the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security.
President Trump has announced that he has fired the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem.
What? Kristi Noem is out? But where is she going to get the money for all her wonderful costumes? We were only months away from her showing up as both leads from Wicked. So Noem is out, and Trump announced he'll be replacing her as Homeland Security Secretary with someone I have to assume is even more qualified. Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin, who's been on an absolute tear during the Iran war. He's been crushing it on cable news. Just listen to this very cogent interview he gave last week where he explained that Iran was rebuilding the nuclear program Trump said he had obliterated.
They said they were done trying to build a nuclear weapon, yet they're obviously trying to rebuild it.
Right,
We're not going to
but
let that happen.
if we obliterated it, we being the United States last summer, then why are you worried about it right now? If it
Because
was
they're
obliterated?
rebuilding it, and you can see them rebuilding it.
But
They're
it was
not
obliterated.
enriching. Well, but it doesn't mean you can't rebuild. I mean, people have car accidents and obliterate their bones and their legs, and yet they can still put, they can still put metal back in them and walk again.
I mean, are you sure you don't want to make him Secretary of Health? You know, people get their bones obliterated in car accidents, and then we put metal back in and we turn them into Wolverine. Sure, okay, sure, that was a weird analogy, but surely he's been more coherent on the question of what to call this war with Iran, right?
This is war, and we're taking out the threat.
You'll concede this is war.
We haven't declared war. They declared war on us, but we haven't.
War. Secretary Hicks said
Senator, we haven't declared
just
this.
now you
Yeah.
said this is war.
they called it war.
They've called it war. What I was saying,
you just-
okay, well, that was a misspoke. This isn't a war. We haven't declared war.
The Secretary of Defense, who calls himself the Secretary of War, said today this is a war. Is it really not a war?
What he declared on us was war, meaning us as Ayatollah. He declared war on us. So we're not at war with Iran.
It's not a war. Look at the screen you're on. Is blowing up right next to you. That's like if Charles Barkley said, "This is not a show about basketball." And to be fair, he'd have a point. Inside the NBA is really a show about friendship and what happens when no one listens to the host. So Trump's immigration agenda has been a bust. What about the Epstein files? How's that going?
Turning to a major development in the ongoing Epstein scandal, NPR reporting that DOJ, quote, withheld and removed some Epstein files related to Trump, allegedly hiding those docs, which, depending on the details we get, could be against the law. The missing files include over 50 pages of FBI interviews, notes from conversations.
What? The DOJ withheld Epstein files about Donald Trump? Hold on. I've been practicing my surprise face. You guys ready? What? It's so classically, by the way. It's so classically Trump to only hide files that mention him. I'm sure someone said, you know, we could also hide some that mention Bill Clinton so it all looks less obvious. And he was like, no, keep those in. Make copies. Put the copies in. Oh, this is going to be good. I am never going to reap what I sow. The Epstein Files release has been so bad that even Republicans are now joining Democrats in demanding the Attorney General explain herself.
A very rare and stunning rebuke of the Attorney General of the United States, Pam Bondi, by members of the president's own party. Yes, 5 Republicans on the key House Oversight Committee defying their chairman and joining with Democrats to subpoena Bondi over the Justice Department's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein case.
That's right. They subpoenaed Pam Bondi. Maybe she'll throw another one of her tantrums, like a passenger getting kicked off a plane for being too drunk before takeoff. Remember, this is how she reacted last time she had to testify before Congress.
Have you apologized to President Trump? Have you apologized to President Trump, all of you who participated in those impeachment hearings against Donald Trump? You all should be apologizing. National median rents have fallen to a 4-year low thanks to Donald Trump. That's why they want to focus on Epstein, President Trump, the greatest president in American history. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about.
All right, someone take her keys. Lady, you are not. I'm driving to see President Trump. President Trump. Also, what do you mean we should be talking about the Dow? It's a hearing about the Epstein files. You're the Attorney General. Congress asks questions based on who is sitting in front of them. When Bernie Sanders is on the show, I don't ask him, can we expect any new music? Even though I'm dying to know. Okay, but fine. She wants us to talk about the stock market. Let's do Bondi a solid and talk about the stock market.
Tonight, the stock market plunging, the Dow plunging more than 1,200 points today, the NASDAQ dropping 232 points, the S&P 500 down 2.
Why are you talking about the stock market? We should be talking about the ballroom. So Trump is biffing it on immigration and the Epstein files. What about bringing prices down? How's that all going?
Gas prices are rising as oil markets react to the war with Iran.
Oil and gas prices already up.
Gas prices have already gone up. They could rise even more.
Clearly, oil prices are going to go up.
Oil prices are up, gas prices at the pump, they're going to jump, and mortgage rates are already ticking up. So in the short term, you're going to see a little inflation.
I have never had more compliments on something I did. People felt it's something that had to be done. So,
Mr. President,
we have a little high oil prices for a little while.
Little high for a little while. He's turned into an Italian maitre d' who won't give me a straight answer on when our table is going to be ready. It's a little while. Yeah, the thing is, you said that 10 minutes ago and just we're starving. Let me check my watch. It's a little while. So Trump says oil prices will be a little high because of his war. It was up to him. That's what the signs on the gas stations would say. And high gas prices are especially bad for this show because aside from ER waiting rooms, our biggest source of eyeballs is gas station TV. In fact, if you're watching me talk about gas station TV while watching gas station TV, hey, what's up, dude? How cool is this? Whoa, premium gas. Doing all right. Also, why are you watching gas station TV? Like, what does gas station TV have that your phone doesn't? Like, a story about the NBA that was recorded 9 months ago? Does it make you feel like a time traveler to watch gas station TV? Because, like, inside your car, it's 2026, but out there, Glenn Powell is still on his Running Man junket. And this was just a little workshop stand-up about the people who watch gas station TV. I hope the brass don't find out I'm trying to workshop stand-up. I feel like there's something there, though. So now on top of everything else, the prices that Trump promised to bring down, prices that were not coming down to begin with, are going back up again. If you're going to ask Americans to sacrifice this much for yet another illegal war in the Middle East, can you at least explain why we're doing it? Okay? Team Trump, get your heads together. please just give us one clear explanation. Should be an easy question. Why are we at war with Iran?
In a phone call after the attacks, Trump told the Washington Post that his main concern is, quote, freedom for the Iranian people.
Iran does pose an imminent and direct threat to the United States of America.
Iran has posed an imminent risk to the United States for 47 years.
We went proactively in a defensive way.
We had to remove a murderous regime.
Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. That would be the ultimate military objective.
Is regime change, as you see it, the objective here?
Absolutely. To me, it is.
This isn't about regime change.
This is not a so-called regime change war. But the regime sure did change. If we didn't hit within 2 weeks, they would have had a nuclear weapon.
It would be an absolutely incredible, historic feat if we can get the Iranian regime to collapse.
There absolutely was an imminent threat, and the imminent threat was that we knew that if Iran was attacked, and we believed they would be attacked, that they would immediately come after us.
So you heard the brain trust. We're doing it for the Iranian people and also for regime change and also because a nuclear attack was imminent. And also, when you think about it, are we even really doing it? What is war, you guys? By the way, it doesn't surprise me that Trump can't remember the justification for war with Iran since he can't even remember where his own father is from.
President Trump meeting with German Chancellor Friedrich Merz at the White House today.
My father was born, right? He knows all about my father. My father was born there, so, very places that you sort of automatically very feel warmly about.
Quick fact check. Trump's dad was born in the Bronx, which is not Germany. I've never met a guy going, oh, these friggin' Yankees, can you friggin' believe it? And then said, I'm very good with accents. Are you from Hamburg? So Trump completely betrayed MAGA on all of his key promises: prices, immigration, the Epstein files, foreign wars. His cabinet is in turmoil. He can't remember where his father was born, and now he can't even explain why we're at war with Iran, or what we're trying to achieve, or how long it will take, or whether it even is a war. I mean, no wonder Trump's disapproval ratings are
a little high.
This has been A Closer Look.